23 मिसिंग की तरफ है, अब तक हम देन दैट। और इसके अलावा अगर हम लोग बाकी टीम्स की बात करें तो उन टीम्स में से अभी तक हमें 3 फाइनलाइज करना अभी भी बाकी है। इट्स जस्ट द लास्ट 2 days of group stages and we are yet to finalize our 3 qualifiers for the playoffs. What an intro itself already right now. Pratik, I would like to know, like, since with the very beginning, जब से हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं on IPL, like every time we are discussing this team might end up in the playoffs, this team might get to the playoffs. But like interestingly, last 2 days अभी group stages के बाकी हैं और अभी तक हमें अपने top 3 teams like एक team मिल गई है but बाकी की 3 teams नहीं मिली हैं. So call it like what we should actually call it, the surprise and the adventurous part of the game. Or this is something like जिसमें teams का involvement है and they are yet to decode it. What it is exactly?
See, I think that's the beauty of IPL. You know, you can never actually predict anything, and anything can change even at the last moment. See, 66, 67 games almost, and we are yet to find 3 playoff spots. So I think table is still wide open, and no team actually can take any team lightly, or they cannot breathe easy, because you know that one single slip up and your entire campaign, which was looking extremely good until up till now, will suddenly go awry, and you won't have anyone to blame but yourself. But for teams like Chennai Super Kings, Lucknow Super Giants, they have an edge because their own fate is in their hands, and you do not want to rely on other results. You do not want to rely on other teams to do you a favor to qualify. So at the moment, Chennai, Lucknow, to some extent even Mumbai, they would be feeling that okay, fine, we have to decide our own fate. We have to play well. If we win the games, we are through. We don't have to rely on too many results. And specifically for CSK and LSG, because it's a very simple mathematics for them. You win the game, you qualify. So you have your fate in your own hands. You don't have to rely on other results. And that is the kind of position you want to be at when you are in this kind of a state. For Delhi Capitals, they have already spoken that it's a dangerous side, because when you do not have anything to lose, you just want to perhaps spoil a few parties and enjoy yourself out there. And we saw that in their body language against Punjab Kings in the previous game. They looked like a team which belonged, something that has gone missing throughout their campaign, right from the 5 losses, then a couple of victories here and there. But something that has gone missing in their campaign was the belief in their own ability to win. They never looked like a team which wanted to win or which was playing to win. But in the last few games, they have shown that fearlessness, because now they know that okay, the season is over. All that we have to do is just to just go out there, express yourself, play your natural game, whatever best you can do, and just move on to the next season, because you do not have anything in your hands anyway. Lost the reverse fixture to CSK, so I think now hosting them at home, they would definitely want to take a bit of a revenge and maybe spoil a few plans for the teams as well.
Right. And Rupesh, जैसे कि अभी हम प्रदेश से बात कर रहे थे, if we talk about the points table right now, and let's say eliminate like already Punjab, SRH और DC इस चीज से बाहर हैं. So कोलकाता, मुंबई, राजस्थान रॉयल्स, आरसीबी, इनके लिए काफी मुश्किल है right now points table, because इनके लिए uncertainty अभी एक एक मैच पर टिकी हुई है. For like if I get to ask you रुपेश, की ज्यादा चांसेस किस टीम के दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं, because it is again like इसको बताना मुश्किल है, बट राइट नाउ ये सभी टीम्स का जो फेट है वो सिर्फ एक दूसरे के ऊपर रिलाई नहीं कर रहा है, बल्कि एक दूसरे के ऊपर भी रिलाई कर रहा है कि मतलब अपने अपने एंड पे तो मैच जीतना ही है, बट दूसरी टीम्स के रिजल्ट्स भी बहुत हद तक इस चीज को शेप अप कर सकते हैं फॉर पॉइंट्स टेबल इटसेल्फ, और टीम्स को प्लेऑफ में जाने का मौका दे सकते हैं. बट इफ यू गो बाय द टॉप फोर्स राइट नाउ इन द करंट सिनेरियो एंड विद द kind of forms these teams are having, if we rule out CSK and LSG from this particular scenario, in RCB, RR, MI and KKR, which team do you think has a better chance to go to the playoffs?
I think out of RCB, RR, MI and KKR, I would like to place my bets on RCB at the moment, because Royal Challengers Bangalore are higher on the pecking order and also have a much better net run rate as compared to the other 3 teams that we just spoke about. So I feel that Royal Challengers Bangalore, and to add to that, the fact that they will be playing their last group stage fixture in their own den at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. So I think that also gives them an added advantage. Although obviously, like, their game is going to be against the defending champions Gujarat Titans, who have already secured a place in the playoffs, and they will be competing in qualifier 1. Obviously, like, it's not going to be an easy game, but when you know what you have to do, and when you know that you will be playing at home, you will have the advantage of playing in front of your home crowd. I think that adds to a lot of your power, and I think that adds that gives you a lot of confidence and self belief at the end of the day. So I think Royal Challengers Bangalore, all they need to do is just put their heads down and give a clinical performance the way they performed against SRH, against Rajasthan Royals as well. So I think they are coming off. I mean, they performed exceedingly well in the last two games. So I think all they need to do is just put on a clinical display against Gujarat Titans. I think Gujarat Titans also will not like to risk many of their informed players, because we saw that Noor Ahmed had gotten hit while bowling in his follow through. So I think some of their key players might be rested for that clash. So I feel, yeah, like RCB, if they put their best foot forward, I think they'll be the favorites to qualify for the playoffs.
राइट, ये तो बातचीत थी पूरी पॉइंट्स टेबल के ऊपर। एक बार डिस्कस करते हैं अभी दिल्ली कैपिटल्स और सीएसके के ऊपर, बिकॉज ये मैच भी बहुत क्रूशियल है दिल्ली के लिए। ऑब्वियसली कुछ यहाँ पर अचीव करने के लिए नहीं, उनका लास्ट गेम है इस आईपीएल का, और वो नहीं चाहेंगे कि एक गलत एंड पर ये एंड हो ये मैच, लेकिन डेफिनेटली कोशिश करेंगे कि सीएसके की पार्टी स्पॉइल करें और इसके अलावा अपनी प्राइड के साथ घर वापस जाए। बट सीएसके के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज वंस अगेन इफ एवरीथिंग गोज अगेंस्ट देम और अगर वो ये मैच नहीं जीत पाते चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स, तो वो बाहर भी हो सकते हैं, प्लेऑफ का पार्ट नहीं भी हो सकते। इट इज दैट डिफिकल्ट फॉर सीएसके राइट नाउ, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली यू जस्ट सिंपली नीड टू विन इट and you can just simply go through the playoff. But it is not just about the top 4 teams, it is about the top 2 teams as well, because if you end up in the top 2 team, तो फिर आपको एक और मौका मिल जाता है to go to the finals and win the trophy. Now इस crucial मुकाबले में चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स ने फिलहाल टॉस जीत करके बैटिंग ऑप्ट करी है। आई वुड लाइक टू नो प्रत्येक, सिंस obviously it is not that difficult and not that easy, it is 50-50 for CSK right now. But if we go by like the scenarios right now with Chennai Super Kings, there's any bit of chance कि Chennai Super Kings qualify ना कर पाए. Mathematically situations are there. It can be the last match of MS Dhoni if he feels like it can be the last match of MS Dhoni as well of the season.
See, I don't think MS is going to go anywhere because by whatever he has been saying off late, yes, there were a few hints dropped, but whatever we have been hearing off late, it doesn't seem like that he is going to go. Maybe another season, and I think he has the right to play another one because even at the moment, whatever little batting he has done, he has been absolutely top notch in that. And leadership is something that comes naturally to him. He is a born leader, we know that. And even in this season, the manner in which he has led his troops. I don't think that anyone was actually backing Chennai Super Kings to qualify as much towards the start of the season. But right now, they are absolutely in the reckoning because they have performed that well. I mean, of course, it's a disgusting proposition that you are in a position where CSK can actually do not qualify as well, because if they lose this game, LSG lose another, RCB end up winning theirs, then you will see them knocked out. But like I said, these things have happened in IPL in the past. Towards the end stage of the league, it is always tight, and that is exactly why you say that capitalize on the crunch moments, because match number 20, match number 24, when you're not even halfway through the league, when you miss out on those couple of points, or you miss out closing a game that you could have perhaps closed earlier and taken an advantage on the account of net run rate, those all things actually culminate and come back to haunt you at these moments. So a point lost here and there can actually come back and derail your entire campaign. I think ask Rajasthan Royals for that matter. That one no ball against Abdul Samad, Sandeep Sharma, things could have entirely changed for them. So, of course, they can be ruled out. That is, of course, a mathematical probability. But I personally feel that they are going to do this, not least because Delhi Capitals, their home record hasn't really been promising. 6 games played in Delhi, they have won only 2. And I think if you look at Chennai Super Kings, they have, right from the start of the season, they have hit all the correct notes. You really cannot pinpoint a kind of a chink in their armor, apart from the fact that perhaps Moeen Ali hasn't really joined the party with the bat. And Ambati Raidu has been a slight kind of a quiet customer this year by his own lofty standards, because when it comes to the IPL, he is one of the more consistent players going around. Otherwise, if you look at right from the top, Gaikwad has got the 400 plus runs. Conway is closing them towards 500. The opening partnership has been phenomenal. Shivam Dubey is doing the right thing in the middle order. Pathirana has been a revelation. Tushar Deshpande, he has been slightly expensive, but he's making up for all that, with the wickets that he's picking up. Thikshana, Moeen, and Jadeja are forming a good trio of spin, and that is a phenomenal partnership there as well. Pacers, again, as I said, Pathirana has been absolutely wonderful at the death, and living up to the tag of that baby Malinga. So I think he has done justice to his position in the team as well. and you're talking about Ben Stokes and Mitchell Santner, who are not even being able to make a place in this squad. So you already know that it's that good a team, that players of that caliber are sitting on the bench. So I think that Chennai have had a very good campaign. Couple of games perhaps that they could have won instead of losing. And I think the losses in Chennai are going to hurt them a lot, because this year Chennai, which is usually the fortress, which is usually the den, it really hasn't lived up to that billing, because Chennai is losing more at Chennai than they have ever lost before. And given the fact that there are a couple of qualifiers are going to be played there, they will definitely be mindful of that fact. But as far as their qualification is concerned, I feel that they should definitely be able to make it. Delhi Capitals, they won't want to take them lightly, but I still think that Chennai have everything in their in their armory to topple Capitals, at least in this game.
राइट वैसे इस आईपीएल में कई सारी टीम्स का जो होम ग्राउंड है वो उनके लिए हॉरिबल रहा है, भले चाहे चेन्नई उनमें से सबसे बड़ी टीम है, बिकॉज उन्होंने उनको फोर्ट्रेस बनाया था चिपक, और उसके बाद में वहां पर उनको हरा पाना हमेशा से मुश्किल रहा है. बट स्टिल हमने देखा है दिल्ली कैपिटल्स को भी सेम अपने होम ग्राउंड पर हारते हैं, एसआरएच को अपने होम ग्राउंड पर हारते हुए, राजस्थान रॉयल्स को अपने होम ग्राउंड पर हारते हुए. सो डेफिनेटली ये सीजन कुछ ऐसा मिक्स रहा ही है जहां पर हमने टीम्स को अपने होम ग्राउंड का एडवांटेज लेते हुए नहीं देखा है, बल्कि वहां पर अपना हॉरिबल रन जाते हुए देखा है. बट यहाँ पर हम नजर डालते हैं एक बार दिल्ली कैपिटल्स और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स के बीच हेड टू हेड की किस तरीके से मुकाबले इन दोनों टीम्स के बीच में खेले गए हैं. और यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं 28 मैचेस दिल्ली कैपिटल्स और सीएसके के बीच खेले गए, जिसमें से 10 दिल्ली कैपिटल्स और 18 चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स ने अपने नाम किए हैं. नाउ इफ यू गो टू द पिच रहती है, एक बार ये भी देख लेते हैं, अरुण जेटली स्टेडियम में मुकाबला खेला जाएगा और वहां पर पिच रिपोर्ट जिस तरीके से स्पिनर्स को इफेक्ट देने वाली है वो पिच रिपोर्ट बता रही है. स्पिनर्स होल्ड द की एट अरुण जेटली स्टेडियम इन दिल्ली. द एवरेज फर्स्ट इनिंग स्कोर इन आईपीएल 2023 इज 167.8. नाउ डेफिनेटली रुपेश, जिस तरीके से पिच रिपोर्ट दिखाई पड़ रही है, ऐसे जो चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स ने डिसीजन लिया है, वहां पर भी कई लोग बोल रहे हैं, बिकॉज दिल्ली में यूजुअली कोशिश की जाती है कि पहले चेस करने का सोचा जाए टॉस जीतने के बाद, और यहाँ पर चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स ने बैटिंग ऑप्ट करी है. तो डू यू सी देयर इज सम अदर स्ट्रेटजी गोइंग ऑन?
I think the only reason why MS actually has chosen to bat first is because of the fact that the recent games that have been played at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in this particular edition of the Indian Premier League, the pitch, the wicket has proven to be slightly sluggish. So it actually tends to slow down as the game progresses. So I think that is the most, I feel that is the biggest factor why MS has actually chosen to bat first. Because if you actually know that, the wicket tends to slow down as the game progresses, then you rightfully so, you would like to put runs on the board and make the most of the batting conditions that are on offer before the wicket actually deteriorates. Once it starts deteriorating, obviously shot making will become extremely difficult. We know that there are a lot of players in Delhi Capitals' batting lineup who love to tong the ball many a mile. For someone like Riley Russo, Phil Salt again, that English batter, he also is someone who loves to play his shots off front. David Warner, we know that he is someone who can, pace his innings really well. If the wicket is really good, then he can hammer the bowlers up front in the power play. But if he senses the fact that the bowlers are getting some decent amount of purchase out of the surface, then he's someone who can also, change his game accordingly and play in a sedate manner, so that once the movement is negated, then he can start playing his shots again. So I think there are some there are some really wise batters in Delhi's batting lineup as well, but it's just that because Arun Jaitley's surface is known to be slightly sluggish, and I think that is the reason why CSK have decided to bat first. And I think obviously when you're batting first, and that too in such a crucial encounter like this, when a position for the playoffs is actually on the line. So obviously when you put runs on the board, you give your bowlers a lot of cushion up front so that they can bowl freely and they can get rid of the opposition as early as possible. So I think the decision, I personally feel that it's a great decision. And obviously it's now for the top order of CSK and the middle order to actually back MS's decision and put a decent amount of target on the board and give their bowlers something to bowl at.
Great. With that, let's take a look at the players to watch out of the match, since Delhi Capitals और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स के एंड से काफी सारे ऐसे प्लेयर्स रहे हैं जिन्होंने अपनी टीम को मदद दी है अपनी परफॉर्मेंस से. और ये हम देख सकते हैं दिल्ली कैपिटल्स के and say David Warner is the one person who has been the real captain for Delhi Capitals in so many instances, और हम आज भी उनसे उम्मीद करेंगे कि वो अपनी टीम को जीत की ओर लेकर के जाए. सिंस लास्ट मैच में जो पीबीकेस के अगेंस्ट उन्होंने धर्मशाला में खेला था, वहां पर भी दिल्ली कैपिटल्स की जीत के पीछे कई बार उनको माना जा रहा था. वहीं अभी इस मुकाबले में भी डेविड वॉर्नर को हम एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि वो अच्छा खेले. वहीं प्लेयर टू वॉच आउट चेन्नई के एंड से ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ होंगे. 49 मैचेस उन्होंने खेले हैं. 101 रन उनका हाईएस्ट रहा है और 1632 रन्स ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ ने थ्रू आउट आईपीएल सीजन स्कोर किए हैं. और इसके अलावा हम जानते हैं व्हेन ही इज ऑन सॉन्ग सो डेफिनेटली ही कैन स्कोर बिग रन्स फॉर सीएसके, जो हम उनसे आज भी एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं. नाउ इफ आई गो टू द क्रॉस ओवर बिटवीन प्रत्यय एंड रुपेश, सिंस आई नो आई एम हियर, like I've discussed Delhi a lot with Pratyay and I've discussed CSK a lot with Rupesh. I want a crossover right now. Pratyay, can you tell me, like, once MS Dhoni, if he plans to leave or maybe if he wants to continue, then how can Chennai Super Kings be able to take that, number one? Number two, who can really take up his space and lead the Chennai the way he has been doing it? Is there any such thing? Because they have tried Ravindra Jadeja before, and that was something of a big failure in like for CSK. So how do you see this, and who can really do it for them?
See, I think Ben Stokes, their investment in him, I personally feel has been because they want to see him as a leadership option in future. He has done it already at international level, and he's still doing it. So I think that he could be one of the options. If you want maybe an Indian player, maybe Ruturaj Gaikwad, Ravindra Jadeja has been tried already, and it did not come out that well for him to be given another shot, maybe. So I think, see, if you're talking about someone of MSS caliber, it is very hard to replace him. You can't fill those boots. It's just that he has to leave, and he will, because it's the inevitable. But if you really look at the options, there is no one who comes to comes close to him when it comes to captaincy. So you really won't have a replacement as such who would be filling in those boots. You would have someone who would take that role and who would start performing that role for the team. But otherwise, it's very, very hard to bring in someone who could do what he has done with the franchise, because CSK and MS Dhoni, they have almost become an identity of its own. You started to identify the franchise by that player's name, and that is not something too many people in the league have gone on to do. So that in itself tells you what kind of a legacy has MS Dhoni managed to build. But I still feel, as I said, that he has enough gas in him to play those late cameos. And as I said, just having him in the dressing room, I think every single player would want to play under him. Not just at Chennai Super Kings. Any player that you ask in the world would definitely want a chance and opportunity to play under MS Dhoni. Because why not? Why would you not want to play under that kind of a person who can give you so much? So I think that he should at least hang around for another year. And this is not just a Dhoni fan speaking, but pragmatically too. You would want you would want to stay as long as possible, because it makes sense. You have led the franchise to great success, and you don't want them to be in a sudden kind of a transition. Maybe what was tried with Jadeja could be tried with a Stokes next year, with Dhoni still staying around as a player, not in the backroom staff, as a player. Stokes continues to lead them, and the transition should not come as a knee jerk. Suddenly Dhoni goes out, and then you are looking all corners. So maybe he should be in there as a player, and then gradually he should shift towards the backroom staff. Maybe take retirement next year, and then give the captaincy whole solely to Stokes. But MS Dhoni, of course, he is irreplaceable. So in that sense, you really cannot replace him ever.
Right. Since it's like emotional yet logical conclusion of CSK, definitely thank you so much, Pratyay, for this. But let's take a look at Rupesh's point of view on DC. Rupesh, since DC is going to play their last game of IPL 2023, I would like to know some of the concerns of Delhi Capitals and also how they can overcome it and what they should rectify before they come to IPL 2024.
I think one of the major concerns that they have had as far as this particular season is concerned is the fact that someone like Prithvi Shaw, whom they were expecting to fire on all cylinders at the initial stage of the season, that really could not happen. Like, it just did not happen at all. And I remember Shane Watson recently spoke about the same and said that it was one of Prithvi Shaw not firing and not performing as per his capability, as per his caliber, and as per his potential, obviously hurt Delhi Capitals a lot this particular season. And so we saw that. In addition to that, what I feel is the fact that the other players, for example, someone like Riley Russo, they must have expected Russo to fire as well. While batting in the top order, he has batted at number three. So they must have expected him to fire. And Russo is someone who has played a lot of T20 cricket around the world. But unfortunately, he also could not click. And I think that has put a detrimental effect on their campaign this season. And that is there for us to see. Okay. And like we all saw what Russo is capable of, what he's capable of pulling off on his particular day if he's going really well. We saw that in the last game against Punjab Kings. He was simply unstoppable. So I think, and again, someone like Mitchell Marsh, again, he delivers it for Australia in T20 cricket. We saw what he did during Australia's T20 World Cup campaign back in 2021, the winning campaign. He was for them the player throughout. Like he simply carried the entire team on his shoulders, and the way he performed for them throughout that campaign really stood out for me personally. So I feel they must be disappointed that players like Mitchell Marsh, players like Riley Russo, someone like Prithvi Shaw, who they were expecting to come really good in this particular season, just did not happen. And I think Prithvi Shaw as well, he must be himself really disappointed, because had he performed in this particular season, he would have made his India case really stronger. But unfortunately, that could not happen at all. So I think he has gone. Like he has slipped slightly below in the pecking order as far as the India thing is concerned as well. But like speaking about the positives, I think they must be happy about the fact that like by looking at the sheer performances, the way Akshar Patel has delivered in this particular season, he has done really well, has contributed with the bat, has contributed with the ball as well. So I think going ahead, Akshar Patel could also be seen as if not a captain, obviously once Rishabh Pant is fit and once he comes back, I think Rishabh Pant will obviously lead them. But someone like Akshar Patel, he could be that leadership figure at Delhi Capitals, and someone who has excelled under pressure and has performed really well. And that is the reason why, like Delhi Capitals, some of the brilliant cricket that they have played this season, I think Akshar Patel has been the fulcrum of the same. And yeah, I think there are quite a lot of positives, but what I feel, the things that they have, like the kind of players that have let them down are Riley Russo, Mitchell Marsh, Prithvi Shaw, and the fact that not a particular Indian batter in the middle order or up front could really step up to the challenge and carry them on his shoulders has hurt them really badly.
Right. There are n number of things which Delhi Capitals needs to figure out and understand how they can really figure it out, which is a difficult one, but definitely they have figured out today's playing 11, and we can show you what is the combination Delhi Capitals and Chennai Super Kings for the today's match, and they have come up with some people, some players who can really win it for them. David Warner, Phil Salt, Riley Russo, Yash Tool, Aman Hakim Khan, Aksar Patel, Lalit Yadav, Kuldeep Yadav, Chetan Sakaria, Khalil Ahmed, and Enric Nonken. I cannot see Ishan Sharma yet Chetan Sakaria in the 11, which is a good sign maybe for Delhi Capitals. They might be looking to change their combination. Now we can go to Chennai Super Kings and we can see what changes they might have brought up with them for today's match. Ruturaj Gaikwad, even Conway, Ajinkya Rahane, Ambati Raidu, Shivam Dube, Moeen Ali, Ravin Jadeja, MS Dhoni, Deepak Chahar, Tushar Deshpande, and Mahesh Tikshana. So ये 11 हम दोनों के सामने है चेन्नई सुपर कैपिटल्स की. अब एक बार देखते हैं सोशल ट्रैकर पर किस तरह की बातचीत हो रही है अबाउट दिस मैच, बिकॉज पीपल मस्ट बी मिसिंग एमएस धोनी, बिकॉज सबको लग रहा है कि दिस इज हिज लास्ट ग्रुप स्टेज मैच इन दिल्ली फॉर श्योर, एंड पीपल नॉर्थ इंडियन बेल्ट मस्ट बी लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट. 5 words of horror. We are going with the same 11, and ये horror क्यों लग रहा है? I would like to know this. Pratyay, do you have any idea why saying we are going with same 11?
See, I think Chennai is that kind of a team which continuously, backs their players, and I don't think they believe in chopping and changing too much. And it's interesting in a way that they are coming up against a team which has done exactly that throughout the entire season. Because halfway mark, you had played 22 of your 25 players, and I don't think there is any player left that Delhi has now not played. Vicky Otswal, I think even he got a game or two, and every single player in their squad has played. You look at Chennai Super Kings, the least number of players picked, I think only 12 or 13, and that too would be down to injuries. So they are that kind of a team, and not just in this season. That has been their theme right since the start. They back their players, and we have seen them making many a players, because you see Ruturaj Gaikwad in 2020, every single voice was against him, but the franchise kept on backing him 2021, we all know he delivered in the best of fashions, winning the orange cap. 2022 was slightly quiet, but again, 23 he is doing wonders with the bat. And this is just one case. They have built many players like that, and they don't really believe in chopping and changing too much. And I think that works for them. Even when they lose, even when they win, they believe going in with the same set of 12, 13. And as I previously already mentioned, that you are seeing players of the caliber of Stokes and Santner sitting on the bench. So it's not that they do not have the resources, but they really don't believe in tinkering the combination too much. And I think that has worked for them historically, not just in this season. It has always worked for them. So it only makes sense, and it is only fair for them to continue with the same theme.
राइट, देखते हैं अगला ट्वीट और लोग इस मुकाबले के बारे में ट्वीट के नजरिए से देखते हैं कि ट्विटर की दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है. So ये है अगला ट्वीट और ये काफी famous meme है. Come on, whenever we see this, like Gujarat Titans already qualified, they can see all the teams right now in a fight to get to the playoffs, and this is something which rightly gives us a glimpse of actually happening at IPL right now. Let's take a look at another tweet. Humble request to all CSK fans, get up early tomorrow, take bath and pray to God for a big win against DC to get a spot in the top 2. और ये CSK fans पूरी तरीके से इस वक्त मैनिफेस्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं थ्रू ट्वीट्स कि ये मुकाबले ही जीते और ये एंड अप करे टॉप 2 में, because that will give them another chance. एक और tweet, today's fight for playoffs, MI and RCB, meanwhile CSK, hail CSK, and we can see कि MI, CSK, RCB, RR, तुम लोग अपना अपना देख लो. This is telling CSK to them कि I'm gonna win this, I'm going to at the top 2, बाकी तुम लोग अपना अपना देख लो. Who's gonna end up? I'll just simply see them there only. Let's take a look at another tweet. Match day, hail CSK, and everyone's is hailing CSK right now because like half of the people who are not even interested in IPL, they also want CSK to play at least playoffs, because then they have a chance to win a trophy, and people want to see MS Dhoni to play more and more matches because ye ho bhi sakta hai ki unka last, but we are hoping it is not. Match day, just 3 more wins to take over the trophy. I believe Thala Dhoni will do it. Time to whistle Puru with yellow love. Just 3 more wins, which means कि ये मान करके चल रहे हैं कि it is going to be like this match, and then CSK will play in top 2, then they will win that as well, they'll go to final, then they will win the final and win the trophy. What a roadmap it is. Already they have planned how CSK is going to win it. और अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है, CSK fans काफी खुश होंगे. इवन धोनी फैंस के लिए एक स्पेशल ये उनकी तरफ से एक ट्रॉफी होगी जो कि वो सिग्निफाई कर सकते हैं देयर लव, एंड डेफिनेटली धोनी डिजर्व करते हैं एक. और मुझे भी लगता है समटाइम्स कि अगर एमआई नहीं गई प्लेऑफ में, देन इट शुड बी सीएसके, नो अदर टीम. दिस इज माय पर्सनल चॉइस, बट ठीक है, there might be other teams as well, and they must be hoping to win it as well, but who cares? Like, let's give it to CSK. As simple as that. But thank you so much, Pratya and Rupesh, for joining. We'll come back after the match and discuss more and more about cricket. We're definitely going to come back by 7ish, so be there. Watch CricTrackers in the air show.